In our first story, the National Communications Authority says it has begun enforcement of a directive that will require the certification of all electronic communication equipment before being sold here in Ghana. And the authority says this is all to ensure that quality service delivery and consumer safety is well ensured. Joy News' Jifa Gege has more in this report.
The $5 million agreement targets 3 regions, namely Volta, Central, and Greater Accra. There were various arrests and prosecution of offenders.
The National Communications Authority (NCA) Act 769 of 2009 mandates the authority to certify and ensure that communication equipment meet international standards regarding technical, environmental, health, and safety. Such equipment includes mobile phones, Wi-Fi, keyless entry cards, televisions, routers, and transmitters, among others. According to the NCA, such equipment, if not approved, may pose quality service delivery and health risks. Speaking at a workshop to sensitize stakeholders on its importance, the Senior Manager of Regulatory Administration Division at the NCA, Isaac Boateng, says every electronic communication device imported must be type approved to ensure it meets international standards.
There are international standards that devices and network have to meet. And if the network operator could do the design, dimension, everything to meet that standard, and the devices that are connected to the network are not meeting, it poses, for example, quality of service delivery challenge, it poses health and safety issue challenges, and that is what we are seeking to address as a regulator. The law is that every communication equipment that comes to the country has to be inspected by the authority to actually ascertain that yes, you have the right to bring. But of course, we have unapproved routes. So some of these devices that you see in the country, mostly they don't come through the approved channel. They come through on the unapproved route, which is a little bit challenge for everybody, not only the regulator.
He urged the public to check with the authority for the standard of equipment they purchase.
If you want to buy or if you want to buy something to be connected, a device especially to be connected to a network, find out from the authority's website, check from the authority whether that device has been approved before you go ahead and use it, because some of them do pose a lot of quality challenges. As a country, we don't manufacture that much. We do receive some of these manufactured devices. If it has been accepted internationally, we have to look at the consequences with respect to your local environment.
The NCA says it is important to report any unregistered and unapproved communications equipment to help bring sanity into the country's communication industry.
Incidences of individuals, especially women and children, trafficked for various reasons is a challenge most African countries currently face. Addressing a press conference at the Ministry of Information, the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Otiko Afisi-Jaba, said the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and his administration are devoted to fight the canker of human trafficking. The Gender Minister says although government is doing its best, including staff training of the department, all stakeholders, including parents, chiefs, community leaders and all Ghanaians, must also be involved.
The $5 million agreement targets 3 regions, namely Volta, Central, and Greater Accra. There were various arrests and prosecution of offenders and rescue of victims over the years. Ghana also joined the rest of the international community to commemorate the 2016 United Nations World Day Against Human Trafficking, often called the Blue Day, for the first time. As part of the commemoration, the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection organized a capacity building training for 30 law enforcement officials, mainly from the Ghana Police Service, Ghana Immigration Service, and Ghana Revenue Authority, Customs Division. Media campaigns and awareness raising programs were undertaken to commemorate the day. Staff at the Human Trafficking Secretariat were trained by the U.S. Department to enhance their knowledge in the area of human trafficking. Ghana also signed a cooperation agreement with Côte d'Ivoire to coordinate efforts in fighting cross-border trafficking in persons. Ever since February of this year, a lot has been done to build on what already exists and to carry the fight against human trafficking to another level. The Gender Ministry this year has validated and finalized the new Human Trafficking National Plan of Action 2017 to 2021. And this is a comprehensive document to support the effective implementation of the Human Trafficking Act of 2005, Act 694. The plan of action covers all the thematic areas, what we call the 4 Ps: prevention, protection, prosecution, and partnership. Government has also provided 3 pickups to the Ghana Police Service Anti-Human Trafficking Unit to support its operations in combating human trafficking. Together, the press and the ministry and the society, we can ensure a trafficking-free society and a better future for the youth and Ghanaians at large.
In other stories, a member of Parliament's Finance Committee, Benjamin Podo, has justified a 1,000 Ghana cedi payout he and his fellow 100,000 apparently 1,000 Ghana cedi payout he and his fellow committee members received from the National Lottery Authority. He says, contrary to suggestions that the money was meant as a bribe, they understood it to be an expenditure item. Mr. Podo also argues the fact that the bill was not passed affirms his argument that the amount wasn't a bribe after all.
If the issue is that some expenditure was made on the program to review the bill, the NLA bill in Senchi, fine. Let's capture it as expenditure, because no MPs didn't sit anywhere to share 150,000. I'm not aware of that.
So how much?
I was at the Senchi program. I signed for a night allowance, but it's a long time ago. I can't even remember what specific amount. But it couldn't be more than the normal night allowance that will be paid any public servant who is taken out of his family. And this happens across the public sector.
Mainly the argument has been that you are paid as MPs to pass bills, and so why should anyone else pay anything if you've been night allowance in order for you to get jobs like this done?
That is a non-issue. The point is that all public servants, directors, assistant directors, chief directors, when they go out of their homes to an outside location to do specific projects, to either consider their strategic plan, to either finalize their budget, they are paid night and out of station stipends, in addition to their salaries and allowances on their payroll. This is practice, is standard practice across the public sector. So I am surprised that you will say that if such expenditure was incurred, then it is bribe. It cannot be bribe. Look at
but was it meant to influence you to pass the bill?
That is what I'm saying.
Was it meant
to
influence you?
So I throw back the question to you. Was the bill passed? The bill was not passed. If it was meant, then we could have done something untoward. That is hastening the bill up, and nothing of the kind. In fact, the bill didn't even come to plenary for discussion. So it was an expenditure. It was not intended to bribe anybody, and nobody took any such allowances as bribe to influence people to do what they should not do.
And the MPs have expressed concern about what they say is the increasing case, or are the increasing cases of teachers impregnating young girls in schools. They also worry the situation is said to be contributing to a high dropout rate amongst girls and also threatening their future. The Gomua Central Member of Parliament, Nana Iya, made the point in a statement delivered on the floor of Parliament on Wednesday.
Clearly demonstrated that it spreads wider than teachers. But Mr. Speaker, be it non-teachers or people who are not within the teaching profession or teachers, it is an act that we ought to decry bemoan the practice and condemn in absolute terms the practice where males or people take advantage of children, defiling them in the process and destroying their future.
Research shows that most of these pregnancies take place after social events like festivals in the various communities. So my view on this is that I think that this assembly should enact bylaws restricting festivals that run into deep night.
Let us commend the teachers who are also doing well by restraining themselves from making children pregnant. And to say that if it is bad, it is bad. We should condemn it in entirety. I want to add that our traditional marriage, the early childhood marriage, is also a factor. If you go to our communities, a lady within the age of 15, 16 is married. So the colleague in school also thinks that she's matured enough to also get married. So some of the social practices should be condemned and not blaming the teacher as the sole person causing this harm.
Chairman of the Hajj Board, Sheikh Kwe, says the previous board had left behind a debt racking up to the tune of about 30 million Ghana cedis, something his administration is now working so hard to fix, all in order to guarantee a smooth Hajj in August this year. The former Member of Parliament for Kwankwe Central blames the board's indebtedness on the majority of pilgrims who embark on the spiritual journey through a protocol list without paying for the trip. Sheikh Kwe was speaking at the Hajj village here in Accra.
Chairman of the Hajj Board, Sheikh Kwe, noted conditions at the Hajj village as he inherited was in itself an indictment on the previous administrators and by extension, the religion of Islam. On the 30 million Ghana cedi debt left behind by the previous board, the former MP for Kwankwe Central says his outfit is demanding full refund from his predecessor.
We've done some investigation and it's come to light. The handing over note that they presented to us revealed that they are in debt to the tune of over $30 million. According to themselves, it's not our saying, it's not our making, it's not the research that we have conducted and we are coming out with this sort of thing. They are owing the airline $2.8 million. How that came about, they know. But the point is this, that, we have come to face this sort of thing. And if we don't break through, to satisfy the service providers, then of course that can be hard.
He also outlined plans the board has in place to ensure hitch-free Hajj.
Inshallah, we are doing the best we can. We must ensure that we don't carry illicit items like cocaine, even cola.
With some pilgrims having the tendency of smuggling illicit products to the Holy Land, Sheikh Kwe warned prospective pilgrims not to attempt the illegal drug trade.
Well, we are going to scrutinize them from here, and then actually, because it's one of the conditions that never carry cola.
The scrutiny was done last year, but some of them got to elude authorities here.
Well, we are going to do as much as we can, actually, to scrutinize. But meanwhile, we are going to actually educate them. Because when you carry illicit items like cocaine or what have you, and you are caught, well, the law of Saudi Arabia will deal with you.
The first of 13 airlines is expected to fly prospective pilgrims from the Tamale and the Kotoka International Airports to Mecca on August 10.
And that's it for the latest news tidbits we have. But we wish the Hajj board well, especially when I know that some of my friends, especially those living in Ashama and Zongolaka and the rest, will be visiting Mecca this period of the Hajj. Well, for all the things that are talking about Hajj. We need a lot of money. I'm talking about money. We have a money box ready. It's in the hands of the beautiful Mamavi Uswabwaji. Mamavi, what's up with all this?
I was just going to say that we will get into the details of the indebtedness to Hajj.
Really?
Yeah.
Today?
On
the show?
On AM Talk,
Fantastic.
definitely.
We'll do that.
Little money moments. I'm going to get my twin Ghana ready.
Do you have it?
And no, not now,
You're
but I'll get it back in seconds. And of course, we've also got your messages right here, so we'll share a lot more with everybody else. Kobe in Koforidia, Charlie. Kobe just Kobe, thank you for the message, Kobe. More of your messages.
Kobe, good morning to you, and thanks for the message to me as well.
He didn't say anything to you. Stay with us. We've got our little money moment coming right after this.
We'll be right back.